Welcome to the Koko Alaisa podcast. Because I think a lot of the issue for me and what I get really bent out of shape about is Islanders from... It's so funny. Islanders from Aotearoa in Australia, like, look down sometimes on Islanders from the island as being fobs. And Islanders from the island look down on Australian and Kiwi Islanders as being plastic or not real. And then everybody on this part of the world, doesn't matter if they're fobs or from Australia or New Zealand, look down on Hawaii and the mainland Islanders as being plastic. And so to be here to represent my island makes me feel good, because I feel a way about being looked at that way. And that's definitely a conversation that we're going to have and talk about too.
Yeah, I resent the word fob.
Okay, fair enough. So we can say something else, but...
Just say the Pacific Islanders, because that's what they are.
Yeah, fair enough. But no, and that's another conversation. Like, we were listening to Jay-Z's most recent album, and that sparked a lot of conversations between us. But one that ties into this conversation is the story of OJ. And the story of OJ, he's like, rich nigga, poor nigga, house nigga, failed nigga, real nigga, still nigga, you know? And that's the conversation that we were having in relation to fob. Because it's like, even though I don't view myself that way, I'm bougie as shit, but this is what...
You are indeed bougie.
Shut up. This is what Okasawa was saying. She was like, even though I don't view myself that way, it doesn't matter. Palangi still all look at us
the same way. That's why I resent when our own people are like, oh, they're fobs, they're plastics, they're... No, Palangis, they classify us all the same way. Like, we're just brown people. We're less than, we're fobs.
Right, and that's the Willie...
That's why when we, make distinctions amongst ourselves, it really irks me.
And that's the Willie Lynch conversation. The only people that are hurt by us breaking down ourselves into classes, or making classes for ourselves, is us. Because if white people all look at us the same way, you're never white. And this is what a lot of... we'll call them the Trump Islanders. This is what a lot of the Trump Islanders don't get. Because I don't want to start coming for people religiously yet. But, like, no matter what you do or what you say, you're never going to be white. White people are never going to look at you as white. You're never going to be... At most, you'll be one of the good brown people. So breaking down and separating yourself, or separating your own people amongst themselves and each other, doesn't benefit anyone or anything. Not even you. It hurts all of us.
And even... the distinctions of poly, Mela, and Micronesians, they have colonial roots, like...
But this takes us into so many deeper conversations. Because I remember I was coming back this way. I think I was coming home from Hawaii, and there were these Maori girls that were on vacation in LA, and they were on their way back. And we were having a conversation like this, because I've always wanted, like, we need independence for ourselves. We need our own schools, our own... And I was talking about Polynesian, and she had never heard that word before. She was like, she was Maori, and she was like, "What's that? What's Polynesian?" And so I feel like a lot of these conversations too are had more in our intellectual circles, but they're not everyday conversations that get had a lot just in the home.
Exactly.
And they have to be more than just academic, even if it's our academics. And I think that's another reason for me for wanting to do the Koko Alaisa podcast.
Yeah. But then again, I'm not sure who's going to listen to this. Like,
But whoever listens to it, listens to it. And that's like... Yo, I say this all the time, I'll say it again, and it sounds a little bougie, but it's because it's one of the realest quotes I've ever read. It's like, the problem with a work of true genius is that the people that understand it don't need it, and the people that need it don't understand it. And so we can't do this and be like, yo, this is specifically for this set of people. They need to hear this because they may not get into it at all. But our buzz can get big enough and strong enough and real enough that, like, yo, it hits so many people that we never imagined that it would thought. Because I do other podcasts and I'm an author and things like that. And in terms of my book and my cast, when I look at the locations that these things have gone and the people that they've reached, they blow my mind because it's places that I didn't ever expect people to really be looking for my voice or my issues or identifying with shit that I've been through or I believe in, you know what I mean? And so when I look at my charts and I'm banging and I'm popping in Cambodia and India and Kazakhstan, even if it's not like, oh damn, I wanted to help people from the hood, it's still people learning and getting a real dose of, yo, okay, so this is what this is really like here outside of the TV. Because I think as an Afro-Latino man as well, and that's such a Hawaii mix because we have such a big cultural mixed melting pot at this point in Hawaii that the only thing I've ever been blown away to see in Hawaii is Mexican families. Not to be racist, that but like still the West Coast is close, so I get vacation. But I was walking by this Mexican family at home and I was like, nigga, is that a Mexican? They on vacation? Oh shit, they ain't in nobody's kitchen or nothing. Mad racist. So I know, but not even intentionally.
Yeah, okay.
But so my bad. I went left with that. But
I say that Islanders. You said
no, they weren't. They were my nigga. They were mad Mexican. They were Mexican. Like Selena and Los Dinos. Like anyway. So,
well, the war's not in Hawaii,
right? True shit. Like we're real accepting. We're real home. That aloha. And so like one of my friends, one of my close friends is Kanakamaoli. She's native Hawaiian and she's Puerto Rican. Like, and then I was when I was home one time, I was working, and this girl was like, "Are you Kanakamoto?" And she was like, "Nah, I'm not island. I'm the Hawaiian mix. I'm the island girl mix." And I was like, "What's that?" And she was like, "Filipino, Chinese, like Puerto Rican." Like, so there's such a mix on Hawaii at this point of like different types of Asian and different types of Spanish and all mixed in together with Islanders because there's so many Samoans and Tongans and I think the smallest demographic in Hawaii is actually Maori.
Really?
I could be wrong, but because like I was talking to this guy and he was like, "Oh no, there's plenty of Maori here," and I was like, "Shut the fuck up." But it's so funny because we're so close in terms of Aotearoa and Hawaii, and that transition does not happen very often at all. Like a lot of people from Hawaii don't come visit Aotearoa all that often. In terms of Islanders, and not a lot of Islanders have just been to Hawaii for no reason.
Because do Hawaiians, mm-hmm. Do they like class it like Islanders who live like? Because I know American Samoans, they like, well, some anyway, they like to make the distinction that they're American Samoans and not Samoans.
Like the difference between American Samoans and Western Samoans.
Exactly.
But there is no more Western Samoans.
So when I know a lot of people in Hawaii are really wanting, like, fighting for sovereignty and stuff like that. But do some still classify themselves as like that's probably why they don't really.
I don't think
identify.
So you and I had a conversation in the beginning of our relationship, and we were talking about long-term and generational planning and stuff like that. And I was like, it was very hard for me to find a partner and to find someone to be with because the things that I believe in and work towards, it's very hard to get in our community. We don't have long-term generational planning. And you were like, it's because we haven't had the opportunity.
No, we haven't had the privilege.
The privilege, right. I get that. And so
to long-term things.
So I think it's a lot of the same for us in Hawaii. I think the view that other islanders have of creating this distinction of I'm American Samoan, I'm Western Samoan, I'm this type of Tongan is a luxury and a privilege that we haven't had in Hawaii because it's in the last 5 to 10 years that we're just starting to get our language back. And native Kanaka Maoli is being brought back, and contemporary Kanaka Maoli music is being brought back, and people are actually learning and remembering what it means to be Hawaiian again and get connected into all of those roots. And so it's really strong in our generation, but we don't have as much of that, oh, I'm this. Like, there's pride in it, there's love in it, but I've always say my opinion is biased, but I feel like there's so much more love in Hawaii than there is in other islands. I got love in Tonga.
Have you been to all the islands?
I've been to Tonga and I know enough Samoans. So I've lived in Tonga, but no.
Have you been to Samoa?
No, I haven't been to Samoa.
Have you been
but
to Fiji?
We're doing Fiji next. We're doing Fiji next with Shota. But I think there's a lot more love and acceptance in Hawaii. Listen,
when white people go to like Samoa and Tonga and they actually see the villages and shit, that's what they say. Like, there's a lot of love there because it's humble. It's really humble beginnings.
Yeah. I got crazy love in Tonga.
There's more love in Hawaii, no.
Okay, listen, fair enough. Okay, there's love to be had all over. But again, that's another important and interesting and dope conversation for us to have over time. So I think this is a pretty good sample and idea of what the show is going to be like.
Yeah.
So you good with closing here on the first episode for now?
Yes, and just to clarify, I will learn how to say Maori. Maori. The Maori. The Maori. Yes, so, I will get it. Okay,
so this has been the Koko Alaisa podcast. Thank you for joining us. We hope you guys enjoy it, and we look forward to doing more of these and sharing them, you know what I mean? And having, like we said, real, uncut, important conversations.